Hello, welcome to my prototype game, or my paper prototype. So I originally created it on some pieces of paper, and then kind of transferred it over to a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation, just to make it a little bit more organized. So this is the environment that my students would typically be working in. This is our shop class in the Hudson Valley ECM program. I think you can see my mouse here. This device right here is the actual PLC, but these are all the pilot devices and things like that that students would use, or industry professionals would use and be familiar with as well. So going on, the initial page that you would see for my game for the PLC Programmer Pro, or Pro PLC Programmer. So it's a pretty basic setup. I'd like to try and keep it that way for my students and also industry professionals that might be interested in this. I don't want to make it too much of a children's game, although down into the pre-high school education could use this as well. So here you have your start button or your menu. I didn't really put in a selection for an avatar or anything like that. I kind of wanted to keep the gender and things like that out of this game, for the simple fact that anyone could do this. It's not set towards guys who are trying to become electricians or PLC programmers, but that's neither here nor there for now. So you can see here, this is kind of my idea. This would be an example of logic that's already built. Maybe put a little 3D or a grayed out screen over it to make it seem exciting, but also not necessarily be the actual game yet. And then you'd get into the second page here, and once you've selected start, you'd be presented with a task, kind of like a scenario or a storyline, if you will. So this one right here is just an example. The plant has a need for a new assembly line. You need to design a 3-wire control logic to get the line up and running. So that's fairly simple. Right here you see the logic toolbar with some basic bits and programming items in them. And then once you select start task, I was toying with the idea of putting a timer in here or something like that. And then also you have the option to quit, should you feel as though you can't do it. Moving on, once you do hit start task, it's going to let you know that you selected to start, and a points box is going to pop up. So depending on how many bits or program pieces you might need, they'll be worth different amount of points for each level. So the more you have to put in, the less each bit will hold as far as value. So here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 program bits in. That's a total of 50 points. And then once you go on and start to actually name those, and this image didn't come out great as I cropped it in. But anyways, so you can see the points total went up here as we added a couple of names and addresses to that. Alright, so the next slide you can see is a little bit clearer. This on the right side here has absolutely nothing to do with the game. I just was using PowerPoint and kind of like that image. So here you can see we got up to 90 points. So the naming and addressing, again, not as crucial, for the simple fact that it's a little bit harder, and I don't want players or students to get discouraged, taking too many points away. Once they have created a program and they think that it's satisfactory, or they want to give it a shot or test it or verify it, you can see here I have the test verify button that'll pop up once they've created a rung of logic that goes from one rail all the way over to the next. So that means a rung of logic that completes the flow, or that completes a statement that can be true as far as programming language. So this statement right here, although they don't know yet if it's going to work, it can be a rung that can be proven true. With that being said, they can go on and press test or verify. So verify would indicate that they're verifying that it's correct. Testing would be another way for them to say, okay, maybe I'm going to test this and it's not going to work. So it's kind of one and the same. If you were to test it and it verifies that it's true, then it would move on. It would give you a big check and 100 flashing on the screen. You'd earn 100 points for that round, and you'd be able to move on to the next portion of the game. Obviously, it would be kind of a similar setup. You'd have the plant supervisor or the plant engineer saying, "Hey, we need this work done." Like I said, I wasn't too sure if I wanted to incorporate a time function on this, just because everyone kind of works at their own pace in the beginning. Maybe as things get a little bit harder or advanced, I'd add a timer in there to let you earn more points. But overall, I think it would be a pretty cool concept, and I really think it would challenge different types of learners. People that are looking at this as a problem, or people that are looking at that as something fun and exciting to build and just fool around with. And then another aspect to this is we could reverse engineer this in a way. I could give them a ladder logic as a more advanced portion of the game and say, hey, this doesn't work based on the sequence of operations from the plant supervisor, so what can we do to fix this? So that's, again, another way to kind of reverse engineer things, build that skill, and bring another element into the game that another type of player might like. All right, so thank you for your time, and I hope you like the game.